If you are tough on your truck and have a broken headlight and need a replacement, this OE style quad LED headlight with the DRL with the chrome housing and the clear lens is a great solution. Now I do want to note that these particular headlights are sold separately. Great if you need one or the other because of damage and want to keep the factory styling and the features without paying the dealer price point. This set also takes the chrome accented approach to the appearance compared to black trim choices, which is great for the F-150 owner who wants to match the chrome trim and keep that traditional polished appearance. The biggest feature with these headlights is the OE style appearance and the function, which allows it to match the one that's already on your F-150 if again you took some damage and you want a replacement just for one side. Now this option specifically has the chrome housing or trim on the outer border, a black inner housing, and a clear lens, so you do get a blend of the traditional chrome appearance and a touch of aggressiveness on the inside. Now everything else is also the same with the quad reflector lenses, the high and low beams with the bright white LEDs, the LED light bar on the outer border for the DRL in the amber corner of reflectors, as well as the middle turn signal, so you can expect a very familiar headlight. Now with being an OE style replacement, you can also expect a very similar construction with a tough plastic housing and lens for good impact resistance and wear over time. The LEDs on the inside are also very reliable because of the efficient construction, so as you are familiar with, you do get a clean high output with these LEDs as well as a solid lifespan. They're also completely plug and play to make the swap incredibly easy. Now per light, these are about $600, which may seem towards the higher end of the spectrum, but again, compared to factory prices, it's a fraction of the price, making this a more affordable solution to an OE style replacement. Now compared to others available on the page, some may take a darker approach to the trim if it is an OE style option compared to this chrome here, and then there are a plethora of aftermarket options that stray from that traditional appearance. Now, in my opinion, I think if you're looking for a true OE style headlight, you want the chrome and you want the option to either buy them together or a singular headlight like this kit, this is going to be a great choice for you. Now install here is a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Like I said, it is fairly straightforward and it is completely plug and play. Now for one singular light, it should take about an hour to get the job done, considering these are sold individually. However, if you do plan on getting 2, you will be looking at about double that time. However, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to one of our installers. They're going to show you a detailed breakdown on how to get these installed on your F-150 at home. So that wraps it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and get to the install.
For this install, you'll need an impact, a ratchet, an extension, 7, 8, and 10 millimeter sockets, and a clip removal tool. What's up guys, today we're going to be doing some headlights on our F-150, so let's get started. Alright guys, so we've got our hood up, and the first thing we need to do is remove our upper shroud so we can access the bolts for our upper grille mount. We've got a clip removal tool, and we're going to remove all the clips holding this in place. There are some back here that are a little hidden. We also need to remove the 2 from the air dam. Now that we have all of our clips out, we'll remove our shroud and set it aside. Next, we'll need to unplug some stuff at our upper grille area. We'll pop the connectors off of these. Now for this little washer fluid line, we'll just push that in. It's a little bit stiff. Pop that out. We'll unplug our camera as well. We'll just tuck that back out of the way. Next, we can remove our lower front trim panel. Now this is held on the outside edges of your wheel well with two 7mm screws on each side. So we've got our 7mm socket. We'll pop these out. And once you have these two out, you can do the same thing on the other side. And once you have your screws out, you want to grab the end of this trim panel, pop it out of its seat like so, and do the same thing on the other side, and then it'll come right out. We can set that aside. Now we can remove our 4 upper grill mounting bolts with our 10mm socket on our impact. You should have one over here as well. We are missing one, and we'll get the 2 at the bottom. Now for our lower grill mounts, we have a 10mm bolt on each lower corner. So again, with our 10mm socket, we'll pop those out. We'll do the same thing for the other side. Now that we have our hardware out, we can remove our grill. We're going to pull out, work this out of its spot. Set this aside. So our headlight has 4 bolts holding it in. We've got 2 10mm up top and 2 8mm down bottom. So we use our 10mm socket up top to remove these 2 first. We'll switch out to our 8mm for the bottom. We want that on an extension because this inner one is pretty far back. So now we'll switch back to our 10mm for the bottom mounting nut back here. You definitely want an extension with this as well. You want to keep a hand under here because you don't want to drop this into your bumper area. Now that we have our hardware out, we can pull our headlight out of the bucket area. Then we'll need to come to the back of that and unplug the connectors. So you just push in on the tabs, unplug those. And don't forget your marker light connector up in the corner. And we'll pull this out. Now once you have this one out, you can repeat the same process for the other side. Now that we have our factory lights out, it's time to install our new setup. Now this is a factory style setup, so we'll set it in to the area. Gonna get it close. Then we'll plug all our connectors back in and they'll go right back into their essentially factory positions. Make sure they snap into place. And don't forget your marker light. So we can set this into its mounting area. Now that bottom ear is a little bit tricky to get in sometimes. Get that around. Make sure that's lined up with that bottom stud and your rear locator is in. Then we can get our hardware back in place. So first we'll get our 2 10mm screws back in up top. Get these started. We'll tighten those down with our 10mm socket. Then we'll grab our 8mm, get our lower front screw in. Tighten that down with our 8mm socket. Then we'll get our 10mm nut back on this rear stud. Now we do have it sitting in. It will sit nice and flush because it is a flange nut. Kind of makes it easier to get it in and lined up. You want to start slow, get it going. Tighten this up. And once you have this side on, you can do the same thing for the other side. We'll reinstall our trim and grill. Now we've got our grill and we'll set that back in place. You want to get it over your bumper. It's a little bit tricky to get this to sit back in the headlight area. Get your locators back in. Get that back into position. Now that this is in, we'll reinstall our 10mm bolts up top and bottom. Now we'll get our hardware back up top. We got our 10mm socket. Again, you should have 4. We have one that's lost to time, but definitely do all 4 at home. Now we'll reinstall the lower 2 bolts. Now we'll get our 2 10mm screws in the lower corners. We'll do the same thing for the other side. Now we'll reinstall our lower trim. We're gonna line this up, all of our locator tabs. Get that pushed in the middle. Then we'll get our sides back in and reinstall those 7mm screws. Now we'll get our trim lined back up in the wheel well. Now for this, you kind of want to push in a little bit, get it over this little mounting bracket. And we'll grab our 7mm socket on our ratchet again, get our 2 7mm screws back in at our wheel well. And once you have these 2 in, you can do the same thing for the other side. Next, we'll plug all our stuff back in at our grills or our camera. Washer fluid. Last one. Then we can install our shroud. And we'll get our shroud lined back up. Now remember, you want to lift up on that intake ram. Get this to slide underneath. Once you get into position, it should drop right in, and we'll reinstall our push clips. Now we've got all our clips, we'll get those back in position. That'll do it. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our OE style quad LED headlight with DRL and chrome housing and clear lenses for your 21 to 23 F-150 with factory LED reflector headlights. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.